Hi, my name is Tiina Mäkelä. I'm a postdoc researcher at the Finnish Institute for Educational Research at the University of Jyväskylä. I'm going to describe you a case in which experts in Finland supported educational institutions when they went to distance learning. A little bit of background first. It was Friday, 14th of March, when Finnish Information Processing Association and the special interest group, DigiTutor, started inviting experts to write this kind of a quick distance learning guidelines for educational institutions. It was anticipated that there's going to be urgent need for that. And then on Wednesday, 18th of March, there was a nationwide school closure in Finland. Nearly all educational institutions started their distance learning. And the same day, Wednesday 18th, there was a video conference. Up to 200 experts from different sectors were participating. And the goal was to discuss the content and the structure for these guidelines. We used Google Docs at this phase. And then already the same week on Friday, there was a first version of the document published and shared in different forums. And this document, unfortunately, is in Finnish, but it's published under Creative Commons licensed in Wikibook. And there's a link to that if somebody knows Finnish or wants to use the Google translation or something. But I will explain some of the contents. It includes both general and then school level specific recommendations. There are also one section for non-formal education, different academies, for instance. And there are parts for beginners in distance learning, and on the other hand, for those who are more advanced in this topic. And then there are also, it's not only about learning, but there are also topics related to well-being. I thought maybe one of the most important thing was to discuss and write some guidelines for those who are absolute beginners in distance learning. And we discussed and wrote some minimum requirements, what is important to identify in the beginning, what are the tools for working and communicating. It was important to describe really well the tasks and activities and keep a schedule and deadlines for them. And then what was important to think is that if the students need to return their work, how do they do it? And how educators can provide guidance and feedback during this period. The recommendation that everybody agreed is that it's better in this case to use tools that institutions and teachers are already familiar with. We also discussed about the importance of identifying those students that really need special attention. Maybe they are less self-directed, lack motivation, or need some additional support. And so maybe we agreed that it was important to focus a bit more on helping those students. And the main recommendation was that there should be materials for self-study, and then the time that everybody would be together would be for questions and clarifications and discussion, a bit more like a flipped classroom model. But we also discussed that in Finland, it's also possible that there are families with no smartphones, computers, or bad internet connection. Or teachers with little knowledge of these issues. So one very practical way to communicate was to put instructions to the envelope and ask families to pick them up from schools. At least at the moment this is possible, and to return the tasks there as well. Telephone was also found to be a very useful tool, although at the moment in Finland there's this discussion whether who pays the bills, because not all teachers have a work mobile. So there are new issues that arise all the time. And then what was also identified are the television programs. There are actually quite a lot of educative television programs that can be included to the timetable. In relation to well-being, what was discussed was the importance of clear communication. It's very important to understand that the distant learning situation is different. You can't see everything that happens. Students can't see what you do, so you have to be very explicit as a teacher with everything. And on the other hand, you can't see what the students do. So one thing is that you have to ask questions more than what is needed. That's better than asking too little questions and assume you know when you don't. There are also issues related to importance of regular interaction to avoid loneliness. Individual conversations are also very important to check how the individuals are doing. And on a social level, a good social climate can be maintained with a group chat, for instance, using names of everybody. We also discussed the importance of thinking what is important for the group. What are the rituals? What are the jokes, funny stories that everybody knows that could be used to cheer students up? And then one aspect was also physical exercise and some learning by doing activities, so as to maintain physical activity during this time. And then for families, it was made really clear that schools are in charge of distance learning. It's not homeschooling. Teachers are not parents are not teachers in this situation. But what parents should do is to support and encourage their children and help them to create and maintain daily routines, when to study, when it's time for sleep, meals, leisure time, and so on. And it was also discussed that it's important that parents are positive and patient and understanding. Having too high expectations at this moment is probably not beneficial. This was also mentioned by the Ministry of Education in Finland for all teachers and parents and students alike. And one important aspect is also that parents should feel free to contact their teacher for help. They shouldn't think they have to cope with the situation by themselves as a family. Okay, these were some examples I wanted to bring out of this case. And I hope that you stay safe and healthy, and I hope you can apply maybe some of these aspects in your countries and cultural context. These examples were from Finland, but probably we're all facing similar situations at the moment. So thank you for your time. Take care. Bye.